the Advanced WordPress Tutorials. I'll be your primary coach for these lessons. If you're just starting, a good free website is bloggingempires.com. It has a lot of tutorials on how to actually start with blogging and lists all the different things you'll need to know. And once you've done Blogging Empires and set up your blog, you can watch these videos, and we're going to go in and do some advanced work for WordPress. So we'll just close that. I've loaded up a theme called Clean Copy 1, which comes from Corey Miller. And once you realize the power of what we're going to do in these tutorials, you probably only need 3 or 4 good themes, because you can change anything in them pretty well that you like. Now, while there are thousands of themes around, there are only a few that have actually been written with good code that allows you to manipulate them well. However, most of the things we're going to show you, you can do with pretty well any theme. And there's a link to the Clean Copy in your workbook. The beauty of Clean Copy is it has 3 different types. It has one with a right-hand sidebar, one with a left-hand sidebar, and another copy of it with a right and left. So it covers most things that people would want to do with blogs. So the first thing we want to do is change the image, because this really doesn't have anything to do with WordPress at all. I'm going to go View Background. By the way, I'm using the Firefox browser just so we can do a lot of the things a lot simpler than Internet Explorer. And we want to find out what this image is called and where it's situated. So it's in our WP Content, Themes, Clean Copyright Sidebar, Images, and it's called Header. We want to put our own header image in there. And how I do that is I copy the image, I bring up Photoshop and paste it into Photoshop. You can use any image editor to do this because it's just a flat image. We want to find out what size it is. It's 160 by 177. Now I've already made another one here. We're interested in getting lots of traffic to our site, so it'd be very silly really to name it header and just overwrite the image. So what we're going to do is we're going to save it with some keywords that have to do with our site, and we're going to call it Advanced WordPress Workshop, because that's obviously what our site is about. Obviously, if you were in financial investment, you call it financial-investment.jpg. If you were doing yoga or whatever, just use some keywords for your image. What we need to do now is bring up our FTP program, and I use a free copy of FileZilla. Once again, the link is in your workbook. I'll just log on. Now I've stored all my images under Advanced and Images. Now the file we wanted was in WP Content, Themes, Clean Copy 1, right sidebar, and Images. And I've already loaded it up. So I just overwrite this one just to show you. So now we'll go back to our site and go back to the main page. As you can see, it's not in there. So what we need to do is log in to our dashboard. And then we go to Presentation and Theme Editor. And this is actually in the style sheet. Now by going Control F, we bring in this little bar down the bottom, which is great when dealing with our WordPress. We don't really need to know what all this is about at the moment. All we want to do is know where that header image is. So HEADER.jpg. And there's the file there. And that's all we want to know about at the moment. We go back into our FileZilla and just double click slowly on the file name so we can copy the actual name. And we're just going to replace that with that file. Now we'll do an update, go to our website and do an F5. And there's our graphic. As you can see, it makes it look a lot different. The only trouble is it's not quite as big as I made it. So we just need to go find that header image again. but it's not called header, so we can't do a search for it, but it's just a little bit down the page. And we go into Adobe, and ours was only 168. So we just need to make this 168. Do an update file. Go into our website and do an F5, which refreshes the page. And it's dropped down. Isn't that fantastic? Now what we want to do is, by default, WordPress puts in the site name and the description. But we want to change that and get rid of it because we don't want that in this particular site. I could design an image so it would fit in there, but we don't want it in this one. So that's not in the style sheet because it's in the header. We go to the header PHP file and it will be in here. Once again, Control F, and it's not header JPG this time. It will just be header. And have a look. And next again. And have a look if we can see it. Here it is, header. Didn't find it because it had the little brackets on it. So what we want to do is we want to just get rid of the name and the description. So here it is here. It takes a little bit of getting used to how people write it, but Corey writes such a good template, it's very easy to find. And I'm going to go Control X here just in case I've made a mistake and do an update. We'll go into our page, do a F5, and there we are. It's updated it nicely. And you can do this now for any graphic. Some templates have graphics in the main index file. It's just a matter of then going through and changing any graphics you want. So let's just do one more so you can see. Let's have a look at this file here. Once again, properties. This is called RSS PNG. Well, that's great, but it's really not pointing anybody to our site or going to come up in searches because there are probably a million called RSS PNG. So let's just go and change that. One thing I suggest too is that you also have Internet Explorer open because sometimes things look a little bit different in Internet Explorer than they do in Firefox. And as you notice, Internet Explorer doesn't handle PNGs very well. So we're going to change that and make it a JPG. So let's just go copy image. Open up our Photoshop again. We can now get rid of those. And just go File, New. It automatically selects the right size. Control V. This image actually has a black background because it is a transparency. We want to get rid of that black background. So I'm just going to delete that. Now I'm going to save it as a JPG. I'm going to save it as a WordPress Workshop RSS because obviously that's going to be a little bit more keyword sensitive. So save, replace. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is upload that new image into our blog. I'm going to take that out, so Control Copy. I don't need this anymore. We'll go into our theme editor again. And this time, where is that image? It's in the sidebar. So it's not actually going to be in the CSS. So now we're going to call it RSS. And let's see if we can find it. Here it is here, RSS PNG. Let's replace that file with the one we've just uploaded. Let's go Update File. F5. That won't change in the Firefox, but let's just bring up our Internet Explorer again. Go F5. As you can see now, if we go to Properties, it lists it as our WordPress name, which is a lot better. And so we've now done all the graphics. So as you can see, you can adjust anything in the website you want. And by renaming your graphics and producing a good keyword sensitive graphics, it will bring you in a lot more traffic. My name's Quentin Brown. I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial, and in the next one we're going to go and delve a little bit more into the colors and do a little bit more in those CSS style sheets.